Yo, what's good YouTube? This is Jay from T&J, and we are continuing our string of divisional games here. We are going up against the Cubs in the last game of the series here, and we're facing Patrick Corbin. And one thing about him, Lewis Brinson gets a hold of one right out the gate. And Patrick Corbin, like I was saying, man, he's a lefty, so Lewis Brinson loves to face lefties, and here he doesn't disappoint. He shows his power versus left. And that's funny because one thing about our lineup here, we have Brinson, who's got like 95 power versus left. Then we got Jock Peterson, who's got like 99 power versus right. And here he's powering one right past the second baseman there, out of the diving reach of Baez. So we're hitting the ball hard in this first inning, and it's easy to hit the ball coming out of Patrick Corbin's hand because his slider, it's very smooth. It doesn't have much of a break on it, and lefties are just easier to hit overall. So we have Vince Velasquez, 114 whip, but he's only still 5-7. I think that's one of the storylines of the Brewers season so far. Our starters aren't getting many wins. But here we're giving up a hit. Anthony Rizzo into the shift. He actually hits to the opposite side of it. So Chris Bryant comes up next, and he's so hard to get out. When I'm pitching against him, man, his whole hitting zone is red. So I need to stay like on the corners, but even then, it's hard because I play with post pitching. It's kind of hard to stay controlled here. So now we're on to the third inning. Rizzo is back up, and these two are just punishing us early in this game. Rizzo gets the hit, and then Chris Bryant comes up next, and another hit down the other line, and that's going to be deep enough. It's going to take a weird bounce off the wall and just stay at the wall. It's not going to bounce off of it. And once again, Chris Bryant comes through, another RBI, so he's got two early in the first three innings. So we're on to the fourth inning here, and Tucker Barnhart getting a hit to the left side. I like Tucker Barnhart, man. He makes good contacts. He rarely strikes out, only when I'm swinging at bad pitches. And Arcia comes up and hits a liner to the gap, and that's going to be deep enough to score Barnhart from first base. And Arcia is going to go into third, sliding head at first, and he's safe on that one. So it's good to see Arcia hitting the ball well, especially to the gaps here. And Hernan Perez comes up a couple batters later, and he brings in Arcia. So Hernan Perez, man, one of the guys I love at the top of our lineup just because he has an 81 speed and he can swipe bags. That was the guy that I was hoping that Jorge Mateo would turn into. And here's another gapper, Franklin Gutierrez. He gets one into the gap. But like I was saying, Jorge Mateo, I was hoping that, when we got him in that trade for Jonathan VR, that he would be that guy that would be at the top of our lineup that could swipe bags, because Hernan Perez right now is leading our team in steals.
Jock Peterson. Now here's a swing and a ball hit high in the air, deep to right field, and this ball's going to make it on to Sheffield.
Jock Peterson not only showing his power versus rights, but versus lefts too. That one was absolutely crushed. And it's so fun playing with these two. Franklin Gutierrez 3, Jock Peterson 4. And he hits his 31st home run of the season. That leads the NL. And it seems like, man, if he gets a ball to hit, if you leave one over the middle, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's going to be gone. But here in the fourth inning, man, Souza Jr. comes up and hits one over the ivy, over the fence in left field, and man, this is Velasquez's downfall. He has a 115 whip. I think 114 to start this game, but 115 now, and he gives up too many of these big hits to gaps over the wall. But here we're giving up a hit to Mike Montgomery. The pitcher here is hitting a little Texas leaguer, and Brinson can't get to it. So Mike Montgomery makes it to second base, and Jason Hayward comes up and hits some high heat. He hits one over the right fielder, Franklin Gutierrez, and he's going to slide into second with a double. He's going to bring in the pitcher here. So right when we get a 6-run lead on the board, they get right back on the board, and we're on to the 5th inning here. And Addison Russell gets one into the gap, and man, that's gonna be a triple. You see how Jock Peterson was kind of jogging to that ball? I don't know why, but sometimes they jog the balls, and I don't even know. They should be hustling all the time. Junior Guerra is getting brought in here from the bullpen. We've seen enough out of Vince Velasquez, and hopefully he can get out, but right away he gives up a deep fly, and the Brewers lead is cut to just one. Javier Baez, that pitch was actually not meant to be there. I mean, that was supposed to be on the outside corner, and he left it right over the middle. So we bring in Brian Shaw here, and he's going to face Jason Hayward, and Jason Hayward is having a game. He's hitting the ball hard, and this one's to the gap there over Brinson said actually, and he's going to slide into second. Anthony Rizzo's going to come up, but we're going to walk him. So Brian Shaw's getting into a little bit of trouble here, and what do you know it, Chris Bryant comes up and hits one to the right side, and Gutierrez is going to come up throwing, but it's going to be too late. So they tie the game at 8 here, and we have Schwarber coming up. We're facing him, but we get him to ground out. So they come all the way back, and they bring in Fernando Rodriguez to face Travis Shaw. And they do walk Travis Shaw here in the 7th inning, so we got a base runner late in this game. And Thames comes up, but he hits a grounder. And this is trouble here because we already know what's going to happen next. Jason Hayward is going to come up in the 8th inning facing Taylor Youngman, and he's going to continue this great game he is having. And that's going to be into the seats. The Cubs come all the way back after all those hits early in the game, after all those runs scored. We had 8 runs on the board to their 2, and they bring in Hector Rondon to close out the game. But we do get a base runner here. Hernan Perez strikes out actually on that wild pitch slider, and we try a hit and run here, but I see I'm going to be thrown out, so I get into a rundown here, and that was the only thing on this at bat. A lot of times I just need to let a pitch go instead of swinging at it and letting my guy steal, because there was a pitch he had a great jump on. He would have been in safely, but he gets thrown out, and Brinson strikes out, and Franklin Gutierrez comes up next, and he can't get anything done. So that's going to do it for this game. The Cubs come all the way back, man. And what a waste of a game for Vince Velasquez, because he did give up a lot of runs, but as you can see, we're now on to play the Cardinals because we need to bounce back here. We're actually tied with the Cubs with the lead after that series. So Travis Shaw is going to face Perez here, and he's going to start out the game at 1 out with a hit to the left fielder, and it's going to be out of his reach. So Travis Shaw does get in with a double here. Franklin Gutierrez is up next, and he gets a hanger on the inside part of the plate, and he hits a liner to center. And that's going to bring a run in, and Franklin Gutierrez, another run down. I don't know what's up with me in these rundowns. I think I can make it, and I think I know where they're going to throw. But Jock Peterson comes up in the 4th.
In the air to center field and deep back is the center fielder. Back he goes, but this is going to be a home run.
Anytime I see a righty on the mound facing Jock Peterson, I know it's going to be a hit party with him, because you leave one over the plate, he's going to make you pay. And he's got that unbelievable power. And it's, like I said, it's so fun to play with him. I'm glad I made that trade for his 32nd home run of the season. And that's tops in the NL, 446 feet on that one. So we're now on to the 6th inning. We're actually down 3-2 at this point. Hernan Perez is going to hit one deep. Pop fly to the right fielder. Look at him. He gets lazy. He gets nonchalant. He tries to show off a little bit, and he lets it go past him. So now Hernan Perez is on second base. Travis Shaw moves him over. It's like a bunt. So now he's on third base. And Franklin Gutierrez comes up with 1 out, hits a liner deep to right field. That's going to be deep enough to score Hernan Perez. So we do tie this game up at 3. And you know who, Jock Peterson is coming up next. And he's going to get a pitch to hit on the inside part of the plate. The left fielder is going to come in diving, and he's going to miss it. So Jock Peterson is going to round second, head to third. So now we got a guy on third, Jock Peterson with a triple here, and we're hoping to bring him in with Brinson, and Brinson can't get it done. He grounds out to the shortstop, and at least we tie the game up at 3 late in this game. But here in the 7th, Antonio Bastardo, he's getting into a little bit of trouble. He's walking Dexter Fowler there. And next, Will Meyer comes up, hits a ground ball to Arcio, an easy ground ball, easy double play, but he cannot get it turned in time. So we get Grichuk to swing at a high pitch. And next up, he gives up another hit up the middle. So we're actually in a little bit of a bind here because it's a 3-3 game in a critical situation, but Bastardo gets out of the inning, gets the next batter to hit a dribbler back to him, but Frank Gutierrez comes in the 8th inning. He gets clunked on the foot. So now we got a runner on first, and what do you know it, Brinson comes up, hits a hard liner to the gap. That one's going to be off the wall. Frank Gutierrez, 41 speed, is going to come in, and the throw is offline. Brinson has been clutch for us on multiple occasions, and this time is no different, and we bring in Steve Geltz in for the save here. And Steve Geltz is, he's got a 3.86 ERA, which is kind of high, but he does have the most saves on the team. He has about 30, so he is getting Dexter Fowler here to line out, and that's what he's good for, man. He's known for getting a lot of ground outs, a lot of line outs, not a lot of big hits, but here he gets Will Myers out to end the game, and the Brewers steal one in St. Louis. We beat a division foe here. Jock Peterson is the player of the game. But hit subscribe, hit that like button. We'll be back for the next episode.